Daniel Cross didn't grow up dreaming about success. In fact, he barely had time to dream at all. Born in a small, forgotten industrial town, Daniel's childhood was defined by the loud clanging of factory machines and the constant worry of unpaid bills. His father worked double shifts, and his mother cleaned houses. Every coin mattered. Every mistake cost something. By the age of 16, Daniel had accepted a brutal truth. School was a luxury he could no longer afford. His family needed money, and he was the only one available to earn it. So while other teenagers played sports after class, Daniel started sweeping floors at a local tech repair shop. The pay was small, but it kept the lights on at home. Yet here, surrounded by broken electronics and scattered tools, something unexpected happened. Every night after cleaning, Daniel would stand quietly near the workbench, watching the technicians repair motherboards, fix circuits, and bring dead devices back to life. He wasn't allowed to touch the equipment, but he absorbed everything with the hunger of someone who wanted more from life. One night, after everyone had left, he dared to pick up a damaged circuit board from the trash. It was useless to the shop, but to Daniel, it was a puzzle waiting to be solved. He took it home, stayed up until 4 a.m., and tried to repair it using a cheap soldering iron he borrowed from a neighbor. He failed, but he learned more in that one night than in months of school. Every day, he collected more trash electronics, fixed some, ruined others, but he kept going. Slowly, he realized something. He wasn't just learning how machines worked. He was learning how problems worked. Daniel's life changed at 19. The tech shop he worked at received a bulk order from a major company in the city. While the technicians were talking, Daniel heard them complain about a problem everyone ignored. Small businesses were struggling to manage their equipment and digital assets efficiently. The technicians laughed, saying, "Someone needs to invent something simple, but nobody will." And that night, Daniel couldn't sleep. "Why not me?" he whispered to himself. "Why can't someone like me build something big?" But dreams don't survive without sacrifices. To learn programming, Daniel needed a computer of his own, something better than a broken old machine that barely turned on. So he made the hardest decision of his life. He sold his father's old motorcycle, the only family memory that still worked. His father was furious at first, but when Daniel explained he wanted to build something that could give them a new life, the old man simply said, "Then make it worth it." With the money, Daniel bought a used laptop. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't powerful, but Daniel treated it like a miracle. He spent every night learning to code, watching hours of free tutorials, reading outdated books, and practicing until sunrise. He failed more times than he could count. Some nights he broke down, certain he wasn't smart enough. Other nights he felt unstoppable, like the world was finally opening up. 3 years passed in this brutal cycle of work, learning, and hunger. Hunger for a life beyond survival. Then came the breakthrough. Daniel built a small software tool that could help local businesses track their devices, manage repairs, and store important digital information. It was simple at first, almost too simple. But he took it to a local electronics store and showed the owner how it worked. The owner tried it for a week. Then he paid Daniel $40 for the license. $40, a small amount to anyone else. But to Daniel, it was proof that he wasn't crazy, that his vision had value. Word spread. More small shops bought his software, not because it was perfect, but because Daniel understood their problems better than any big company. He had lived the same life. He knew what they needed. But success never arrives alone. It always brings bigger challenges. As more businesses used his tool, Daniel realized he had hit the limit of what he could build alone. He needed a team. He needed funding. He needed someone to believe in him. But every investor he approached rejected him instantly. One investor even said, "A janitor making software? Come on, you're wasting my time." Those words stabbed Daniel deeply, but they also ignited a fire inside him. "If they won't believe in me," he said, "I'll believe in myself twice as hard." Daniel worked even harder, upgrading the software, adding new features, and building a basic website. For months, he lived on instant noodles. He skipped rent payments. He sold his laptop twice and bought it back just to survive. But he kept building. Then one ordinary morning, the extraordinary happened. A well-known business consultant downloaded Daniel's software for his own small workshop. Impressed, he emailed Daniel asking for a meeting. Daniel, nervous and overwhelmed, went to the meeting expecting another rejection. Instead, he heard 5 words he would never forget. "I think you've built gold." The consultant connected Daniel with a major tech incubator. After evaluating his product, they offered him his first funding, $150,000. That moment felt unreal. The janitor who once swept floors was now being handed the chance to build something massive. His hands shook. His voice cracked. But deep inside, he said to himself, "This is what I suffered for." With proper funding, Daniel expanded his team from one man to a group of passionate developers and designers. Together, they transformed his simple tool into a full-scale digital asset management platform used by hundreds of companies. It was fast, clean, and unbelievably easy to use because Daniel understood real-world problems. Within 3 years, Daniel's platform became one of the most trusted tools in the industry. Businesses across multiple countries embraced it. Investors who once rejected him began calling him for meetings. These were the same people who laughed at him. Now they were begging to invest. Daniel never forgot the nights of hunger, the motorcycle he sold, the rejections, the insults, the fear. But he also never forgot the moment he chose to believe in himself. The moment he said, "Why not me?" By the age of 35, Daniel Cross was no longer a janitor. He was the CEO of a company valued at over $1.4 billion. One day, a young man asked him, "Sir, how did you rise so fast? What is your secret?" Daniel smiled and replied, "I didn't rise fast. I rose slowly, painfully, quietly. Success is built by people no one believes in, until they prove everyone wrong." And that is the lesson Daniel's story leaves behind. You don't need a rich family. You don't need perfect opportunities. You don't need people to believe in you. You need one thing: the courage to start from where you are. Daniel Cross swept floors for years, but he also swept away every excuse that could have stopped him. His story is proof that the world doesn't reward the lucky. It rewards the unstoppable.